Hi, this is Chrissy with See What's Good for You, sharing things that I find helpful to help us all live simply and joyfully. I recently had a girlfriend reach out and she was asking for help with organizing, which is my personal superpower. Everybody has a superpower. This happens to be mine. So I was really excited. But the area she really needs help with is papers, which I figure a lot of people struggle with papers. I know that I'm quick to get rid of stuff, but I am a paper hoarder. In all forms: books, pictures, receipts, books of uh, instruction manuals, all those things. So anyway, I thought that I would start a mini series that I could upload and to challenge each of us to declutter as the start of the year is here. And so we're going to start with papers. So I am not a certified Marie Kondo expert. I'm not a KonMari organizer, not yet. But I have read and recommend her two books, which The Life Changing Magic of Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. Sorry, I share this house with two dogs, my husband, my son, and my father-in-law, and there's noise coming. Anyway, and the other one is Spark Joy, both of which I found incredibly helpful. So there's lots of different approaches to decluttering and to organizing your world, but for me, these really resonated. So hopefully you can take what you want from them and go forward. So with papers, and actually I'm going to back up. The whole principle with the Marie Kondo system of organizing is that when you are in your space, everything that's in your space should spark joy. So it's not necessarily about what you're getting rid of, but what you're deciding to hold on to. And I found as I was doing this, it was just the weight, and my home was getting lighter. And literally everywhere my eye rests in my home makes me happy. So, I mean, honestly, so over this shoulder is our son. Our son. We had two children together, and our son gave me this wreath for Christmas, and it just makes me happy because it was at a time when he didn't have much money, which, kids, they don't have much money anyway. Um, but he bought this and he put it together for me, and it was really special. And then the painting over my shoulder, also peonies, I got with my daughter. And so whenever I see these two items, which is every day, um, they make me happy because it reminds me of that time that I had with my children and when we were picking things out and doing stuff. And anyway, that principle, right? So and what I found is that as I've done that and gone through the house and gotten rid of the stuff that I felt like I was obligated to keep because I had spent money on it, or we'd had it forever, or it had been given to me, or whatever, right? It becomes like a burden. And the idea that your home is a burden, I think is not healthy. Um, so when I read her book, Spark Joy, it just it just came alive in my brain, and I was like, okay, this is great. So I started this process. It's been very slow. I didn't dive all the way in and do it completely right the first time, but I started the process, and to the point where I kept getting rid of so many things that my husband he was teasing, and he was afraid he would come home one day and find the children out by the curb. But anyway, um, so, what I'd like to do is kind of work through those principles and as we go forward. So, paper is a really great place to start because usually people have the least attachment to their paper items. So, with the KonMari method, or even honestly any type of organizing, the best way is to gather everything to see what you're dealing with. And with hers, it's kind of like a shock and awe principle, right? Because if you gather everything in one place, it can be very overwhelming. So when I talk about this, this is not necessarily for someone who is a truly diagnosed hoarder. I mean, we're talking about your average person who has just kind of let the world get in the way of them keeping their homes the way that they want them to be, right? And um, So just know that going in, that this is just for your average person who has just kind of gotten behind or doesn't even know where to start, which is most people. Um, and like I said, my superpower is organizing, but this was really helpful in giving me kind of a field plan and a direction. So, um, with that being said, what you want to do is you want to gather all, it's overwhelming, is to gather all of your paper goods in one place. So that means all your books, all of your stuff, maybe in filing cabinets. If you even have that, we run multiple businesses from the house, so we have a small filing cabinet, but one nonetheless. And again, I struggle with paper hoarding. It's all organized, but it's there. I mean, instruction manuals from my children's toys from when they were like 8, that level. Um, Books that have to do with products for your home, maybe your furnace or your couch, or I don't know. I don't know what you've purchased, but you know what I mean. Then there's the bills that are coming in and receipts, and just, you know how that tends to pile up. So I know some people have like a place on their kitchen counter, or some people do the dining table, or I don't even know. I don't know where you're stashing it or where you're piling it or but you know where it is, right? So you want to gather all of that into one place. So that way you can just, one, see the sheer volume, right? And then two, it helps you to kind of get a picture of, okay, this is everything that I'm dealing with. This is the starting point. And also, it's really nice when you get to take a picture, and then at the end, you take a picture and you're like, oh, look at how much stuff I got rid of. It's so amazing. Or maybe it'll motivate you to be more ruthless. I don't even know. But anyway, so then what you're going to start doing, and I'm going to try to break this down into smaller segments for posting on Instagram and Facebook and places, but for here on YouTube, I'm just going to do it hopefully in one haul. But anyway, what you want to do is then you want to sort out and separate out all the sentimental stuff. So because that is so much more difficult, right, to pare down. So we're going to save that till the end, till you're feeling, inspired and confident in your skill set. But what you want to do is one, gather everything, and then we're going to try to just go through, and in a way, what you want to do is you want to have kind of like a one touch approach, right? You don't want to keep picking up and putting down and pick up and putting down, right? Let's pick it up, make a decision, and move forward. So typically, there's three categories. There's the ones that you currently need, right? So maybe a bill that's due, maybe a school notice for your children, or I don't even know. You know what you need in the moment. Hold on to those, right? Or a receipt for maybe something you are considering taking back or need to make sure, register, whatever. Number two, things you need to hold on to in the short term, right? So that may be a warranty for that you need to hold on to for a year or two, or it may be, I don't even know. I should have come up with suggestions, but anyway. So that second category is going to be things that you need to short term, right? And then things that are long term. Right. So that might be like tax documents that you need to hold on to for years, investment documents, mortgage, car loans, um, I don't even know. I don't know what you have, but there's basically three categories. And then really, there's a lot of stuff that falls into you don't need to hold on to it for now or in the short term or in the long term. So it's time to either let it go or document it and let it go. Um, yeah. And there is some value in digitizing some, but you don't want to get carried away because later on we're going to do computer decluttering. Hopefully you can't hear my husband. He's working on his post and I think things just went wrong. But anyway, um, so you're going to try to do that and then you're going to start sorting. You're going to pick up a paper and it's going to go in one of those three categories, right? Need it now, need it short term, need it long term, or discard. So if you can just recycle it, great. But if it has any important information, like bank numbers, social security numbers, I don't even know, identifying stuff like that. You either need a shredder or you need to use your fireplace or a burn pit or whatever you're allowed to use in your area. I don't know. Um, and you're going to start working your way through all of your documents. You pick it up, you make a decision, right? One of those four categories, to be honest, right? Whether you can short term, or excuse me, now, short term, long term, or discard, right? And if it's discard, you need to dispose of it safely or preferably recycle. Some people in my world don't want to recycle, but whatever. Um, and that is the best way to start. And so once you've done that decluttering process, right? Because those papers, they're not the Spark Joy papers, right? We'll get to Sparking Joy later, but you need to start with sorting the papers first and sorting the books, right? Which ones do you want? Which ones do you need? Which ones are you actually going to read again? Which ones have useful? If you know you're not going to read it again, don't keep it. It's not a vanity thing. Nobody cares how many books you've read, right? Just let them go. Pausing. Okay. So there wasn't much more that I needed to say, but new day because the drama continued and I couldn't think straight. So I did get a chance to talk to my daughter, and she pointed out that the KonMari method might be a little overwhelming for people who are not ready to go gung ho. And so I wanted to also, I know it sounds crazy, but mentally give you permission, right, to do it in smaller chunks, whether that be maybe room by room. And then as you move forward, then you can, combine your paper and then do it all. Or honestly, some people are just content to just allow it to be room by room. So give yourself permission to do whatever is going to move you forward. I find it easier to do the KonMari method, but you do what works for you. It's better than doing nothing. And so anyway, there's that. And then she brought up the shredder. She lives in an apartment and she's like, I don't have a shredder. And she's like, and I don't have a place to burn things, which is pretty common. And so I was telling her when it doesn't seem appropriate for that. So like we've had debit cards that have needed to be replaced or credit cards and stuff like that. And even sometimes with documents, if I'm like, I don't know that it needs to be burnt, but I still don't want people having access to it, I will cut up the important information into thirds and I will scatter the pieces. So one will go maybe in the kitchen garbage, one in the bathroom garbage, and one in my office garbage because I know that those are going out at different cycles. And so the chances that somebody is watching our garbage and is curating our garbage, oh, and we live in a city, to curate all of that over weeks would be amazing. So anyway, that's another suggestion. So I was telling her that for like credit cards, debit cards, whatever, we've done that. So just know that that is an option, but it can be a little bit crazy if you end up with a ton of papers that need to be taken care of like that. If that feels overwhelming, there are services that will do shredding for you. You have to pay a pretty penny. So there's also the thought of buying a shredder. Sometimes that's cheaper than paying a service. Or I know that our city has shredding services like once or twice a year, something like that. I don't bother because I do these other methods and I stay on top of my paper. But if you are just starting a massive project, those are some other options for you. So I was really glad that I had to pause for the noise slash drama that was happening here because she brought up those points when I was talking about it. But anyway, we are going to be moving forward, and I'm going to try to put out challenges and suggestions. And then also, we're going to deal with sentimental papers. That is a whole nother category. So make sure when you're sorting the papers, whether you do the entire pile in one category or if you're just doing room by room, set aside photos, cards, drawings, etc., the things that you're actually attached to. If you're not attached, just go ahead and pitch it. right away, but those tend to be harder. And I believe I mentioned at the beginning of this video that we will save those to last because they are, yes, indeed, trickier. So hopefully I'll be able to give some tips as we're going forward and working on certain categories, but I wanted to finish up the video and talk about those suggestions about sorting. So hope this is helpful, and sorry for the multi-day recording. Okay, have a great day.